Welcome to the Jira Life, the place to find news, events, and interviews with the Atlassian community's movers and shakers. Join our hosts, Alex, Dr. Jira Ortiz, and Rodney, the Jira Guy Nissen, as well as the Jira Amigos in the Peanut Gallery, as we sit down and discuss the latest going on in the Atlassian ecosystem. Because we didn't choose the Jira Life, the Jira Life chose us.
And our sponsors are probably going, wait, this is in the Jira crew. We didn't sponsor Trello.
And they're out.
Well, they should do and they can.
So first, Rodney, well, hold up. Bob, if you want to put it in the chat, well, you know what? Let me read it because I'm been known to misread things and then get in trouble. So a quick update on my good friend Rodney that I'm legally and allowed to say. He had surgery earlier today. Everything went well, and he's recovering now.
Yay,
So-
we love to hear that.
Yeah.
So we're not out of it just yet, but thoughts and prayers, and make sure everybody sends your good vibes over to Rodney. But I've been told he's like a cradling baby right now, and we're waiting for him to wake up, and hopefully this is all over for him. But things went well. I think we're seeing a positive outlook on that. All right. So today we have two guests. I don't know how I ended up with this.
You're not normally left alone with us.
Normally I'm not. So maybe we have somebody coming to take me.
Yeah, I know.
help
I know. We really need Rodney here to kind of, help
balance.
temper things. Yes.
Yeah, because I mean, I hope I'm trying to keep it mellow and not get out of control. But yeah. So just for everybody watching, right? So today we're actually not allowed to talk about our two favorite things, and so we're allowed to talk about anything but our two favorite things.
Right.
And while I'm there, I did also want to point out that I did get a chance to pick this up recently.
Yes. Oh my goodness. I'm so honored. Wow.
Well, I'm going to be hunting for you so I can get something written in here.
Absolutely. Oh yes. Yes.
But yeah,
Anybody
that
come
one-
into team, bring your Trello books and I'll.
Are you lefty? Are you lefty?
No, I'm just
Oh.
weird.
Like it looks. Oh, because it looks like a lefty to me. Because I am lefty, but I guess.
Oh, are you?
Yeah, me too.
Cool.
Oh, are you? That's fun.
All right. So, since we can't talk about Jira and we can't talk about Trello, let's talk about the things we can talk about, which is anything but those two things. So, fortunately or unfortunately for Atlassian, there's a lot of different tools out there. So I was thinking maybe we just talk a little bit about each one, like in no particular order. We'll just kind of pick one, and we don't really have a specific format for this, but I think it'd be good for us to do it right to our audience, even though we shouldn't be talking about Trello and Jira. I think it's important to like discuss like some pros and cons, some good, some bad, the ugly, as to why these alternatives exist, what people should be thinking about when they're considering an alternative, and I think we should provide our expertise, right, or intimate knowledge of our tools of choice, and kind of contrast them with the other tools out there. What do you guys think?
Yeah, that sounds good.
Okay.
I've got a little story about other tools actually, because
Sure, go ahead.
obviously,
Kick us off with the story. I love a good story.
I put all my eggs in the Trello basket a few years back, and there was a point, certainly I'd say about 18 months to 2 years ago, where I wasn't getting much work as a consultant, and I was also losing clients because they were moving to other tools. And then I started looking into other tools. So I got Monday certified, and I was looking at Airtable and SmartSuite, because there seemed to be this like exodus of people from Trello, and I think it all came down to the fact that all these tools were offering something new, and they're releasing new features, and they seemed current, and Trello was just stagnant. Had no changes had happened since 2020, and people were looking for something that offered something different than Trello, and I started to get worried, and I started looking as well. And I tried Monday, I tried SmartSuite, I used Airtable to build a few things, and something kept drawing me back. And I don't know if that's just like a habitual thing, or a weird love and obsession that I've got for Trello, but something was drawing me back, and it was because I'd find things that I could do really easily in Trello that I couldn't do with the other tools. And I think over the last year or so, Trello has released a very small number of features, but they've made some changes. And I am seeing people, like a reversal of what was happening. So I'm seeing people come to Trello who had used it before, or they've used a tool that you would say is more advanced in Trello, but they're coming back. And I think that's because Trello has some uniqueness compared to some of the other tools, because they're all fighting in the same space. So I find the whole thing fascinating about other tools, and they're all brilliant in their own right. And quite often it doesn't come down to anything more than personal preference.
Well, I've been told I'm not allowed to say anything negative about Trello, so I will be on my best behavior. But
Oh wow, that's big for you, Alex.
I know.
Wow.
Wait until I unleash it. I'm saving it up for when I physically see you at Teams.
Oh, good. I love that. Perfect. That's great. We'll be
But-
ready for it. Yeah. I mean, I love what you said, Mike, that a lot of it kind of comes down to like personal preference about things. It's funny because when everybody asks me, you know, how did I choose Trello? I now have 1,000 reasons of why I prefer it, but it actually all came down to a while, like when I was first, you know, looking at, you know, okay, I want some sort of tool like this for organizing myself. I'd use Trello. We were using Asana at work, and I was like on the fence between the two at the time. Again, I've come very far now and have 1,000 reasons why I have a preference over one. But at the time, I was like, I'd have to pay for label colors in Asana, and I don't have to pay for labels in Trello. So I guess we'll do that. And like, that's how we ended up here. That is how you ended up with a book that I'm going to sign, that like, because literally Trello had labels. Trello had like free labels and Asana didn't. And I was like,
so
yeah,
funny
this is probably easier to start with.
I think it'd be cool to see other people's stories on how they landed on their tool. But I
Yeah.
think it is fair though to open up our conversation and start transitioning into it. I think it's fair to say that when a team or a company or even an individual's out there, they're like, okay, there's a lot of tools out there, right? And they're like, okay, so where do I start? Where do I begin with? And I don't know. I landed on Jira because it was my job, right? It was the tool that was being used at work. But before that, I was in TFS. And so, again, I did it because it was already an established tool. But oftentimes in my journey today, I stumble upon people that are like,
TFS?
Team Foundation Server. It's the server version of Azure DevOps Online.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Wow. Learning new tools all the time. Okay. Love it.
I think it's still in support, but ADO is the more common one that everybody knows, which we will be talking about today. Okay. But anyway, so I usually stumble into individuals that are like evaluating tools, like which tool is better for me and which one's right for me. And a little personal anecdote, one of my biggest pet peeves are like YouTubers, because I'm a YouTuber, right? But I absolutely hate, and it's my, like, it just gets under my skin when a YouTuber that's like a project manager is evaluating Jira or evaluating Monday or ClickUp or Asana, right? But the version of Jira or the version of Trello that like the way they're describing it doesn't do it justice at all. But then of course they're the ones that's like 1 million views.
Yeah.
But anyways, let's start off with Monday. Let's maybe opinions about Monday, thoughts about Monday, experiences that you've had with Monday, things you like, things you don't like, things that it could be done better, how it compares to your tool. I think it's still valuable, right? How does it compare to your tool of choice? It's something I think we should definitely throw out there. But whoever wants to,
I'm happy to kick this one off because of all the ones we talk about. Monday is probably the one. Monday and Asana would probably be the ones that I've had the most experience with, aside from like tinkering around with. But when I was at Elastic, my previous company, we were trying to get a project management tool. And boy, I fought hard for Trello. And like other teams were using Jira, and everybody, you know, people are using different things, and they wanted one kind of like universal thing for everyone. And then it ended up like, okay, well, maybe not everyone, maybe just marketing. And you know, I obviously went pretty hard for Trello, but I was like, please, anything but Asana. And then they went with Monday.com, and I was like, gonna give it my best college try. I was like, it's not my Trello, but you know what? It's fine. At the end of the day, like they're just Kanban boards, like moving things around. We can handle this. It looked a lot prettier. That was my first thought, is like, ooh, it looks very nice. This is very slick. Like some of this UI aspect looks really nice and flashy. This is like cool. Like it almost kind of looks like if you gave like a Trello-esque type of thing, like a facelift or something. Like it looked a little more modern and a little like, okay, cool. But one, there were still way too many buttons, which is going to be a common thing that I say about all of these, to be honest, is that there's like too much to do, which everybody's like, yeah, it has lots of features. And it's like, yeah, you won't use like 90% of those and they just get in your way. And like other people then click it and mess things up. And so, but yeah, so I was like, okay, this is interesting. This looks pretty. This is nice. And then I was like, all right, now let's actually get into my workflows and make some automations. And it's like when a card or, when an item or whatever they call it moves into, this stage, I need it to have this checklist applied. And so I'm like, all right, let me go set up an automation for that. And it turns out that wasn't even possible. And I was like, okay, that's not even the biggest stretch of what I was hoping to automate. And so half the automate, because I had been working at that time in paid ads and managing my ad request process in Trello. And I was like, all right, well, let's migrate that over to Monday. And it just didn't, it's, and yeah, Bob, I see your question. I think it's officially like,
.com, right?
MDC.com. Yeah. But
Yeah,
I mean,
it's with the
easier to
.com.
say. Yeah.
I think
It
they've
is now
changed. I
Monday.
think they,
You think
yeah,
they're
they
trying to
might
change
be
it?
Monday now.
I was working with a colleague of mine and he's like, we should buy Friday.com, and it only costs like $5 million for it. Like Friday.com's available. It's like, it's for sale.
It's for
And I was
sale
like,
for $5 million.
yeah, we should totally make a tool called Friday.com. Because I think I'm
But
kind of
also
curious
get a
why.
basement in California for that. I don't know why
No,
not?
you don't get a basement because one, we didn't have basements, but you can get a garage for
Perfect.
$5 million. You're
Yeah.
gonna love California when you're out here, Britt. I think California and you just belong in the same sentence. You look like such
As
a
long as I'm
California
visiting.
girl. You look like such a California girl though, like so laid back, so chill. Like I can see you at the beach every day, just hanging out, surfing, catching waves, trelloing.
Wait. Yeah, I mean, I don't like getting in ocean water, but I could watch people surf for sure. And if the temperature was right, which it typically is in California, I will give it that. I could be amenable to that.
Our waters are cold though, very cold.
Yeah, exactly. I don't
Yeah.
do well with the cold.
I am curious why Monday went with Monday.com. Like it's such a weird name. Like when I
Yeah,
think
that
of
is
Monday,
cool,
I don't think excitement. Like I think like great, it's the beginning of another week. We're back to hell. Like so let's make a
Yes.
tool that encompasses every feeling we have about Monday
Yes.
and market that.
Yeah, it's true. Yeah, that's a good point. Like, I mean, I don't know. I guess this is probably a slight tangent of sorts, but like my personal favorite day of the week is Thursday. Like I feel like that if I were going to pick a day of the week to name a tool after, I would definitely call it Thursday because it's like pre-Friday vibes. Because by the time you get to Friday, like I feel like Friday's already gone and you're either trying to hurry and finish stuff up or you're already checked out for the weekend, but it's not really the weekend and you're kind of like still doing a thing. Like, but Thursday's like you're in a good flow. So yeah, anyways, all of that is to say we should definitely petition Monday.com to change their name to Thursday if they want better branding.
Or
It's not the worst
maybe
name
they
out
were.
there, though.
Go ahead.
I'm commonly using Make for automation, and it is impossible to search for stuff from Make on Google because you just come up with loads of responses with how do I make, and it's just impossible. Like whoever changed the name from Integromat to Make,
Yeah, that's a good point, actually. Yeah, like that's got to be impossible to have SEO for.
I don't know. I will say so. One of my favorite things about Monday, though, and I know Trello kind of had this going for a while. It's something Jira definitely doesn't have is a read-only license or a stakeholder license, right? Or Monday calls it a viewer license. I think this is a step up where Atlassian really needs to step up their game, maybe. But I think it's very good on Monday's behalf, right? Where I see a lot of teams go to Monday is because like, hey, we just people need to be informed, but they don't need to be assigned stuff. They don't need to update stuff in Monday. And that I don't know why Atlassian doesn't have some sort of a stakeholder license for Jira. Like it just blows my mind. But I know that that's one of the biggest use cases where it's like, okay, so I have a team of like 10,000 people, maybe 500 people are working on stuff, but the other 7,000 can be a viewer and they can see and be informed, but not necessarily consume a license. But I will tell you, their pricing sucks. Like it's expensive.
Yeah, and the 3 seat minimum thing, like that really annoys me. As someone who works for myself, like why do I have to pay for 3 seats? Like it doesn't make any sense. I don't know anyone else who does that.
Yeah.
It is. I mean, one thing I would say about it is it's a beautiful software, and it does some great things.
It does look nice,
Um, It's I kind of went off it when they started changing strategy, because the thing I loved about it is that with Monday Work Management as it was, like, you could pretty much use it for anything. It had templates for CRMs in different worlds, and project management for service, and you can build anything, right? And then they've decided to go down the route of separating the tools out and putting paid features in each one, and that was the point where I kind of turned off, like, wanting to use it. Like, so now you have to subscribe to Monday Work Management. I think they've changed this recently, but before you'd have to have work management licenses and then pay on top of that for Monday's sales CRM licenses and then service. I think now they're all standalone, but the fragmentation made it less of an attractive product for me.
Yeah, I never understood why. Like, the part that always kind of got me worked up than anything else is, like, if you're in a tool like Jira and Trello, why does your company also need people to be in Monday? Like, I never understood why having them all.
Oh yeah. I think the problem is because everyone has their favorite tool that they want to use, and rather, like, you've got this team wants to use this team wants to use this, and it comes down to the personal preference we were talking about. And, like, so there'll be the official, this tool is what we're officially endorsing as a company, but then everyone else is using all of these other ones too. So yeah.
And for everybody that didn't know, Monday used to be called The Pulse, which, according to Sean, is also the stupid.
That's a pretty level thing as well.
ThePulse.com versus Monday.com. But they must have paid a pretty penny for that URL, though, to own Monday.com.
They may have, yeah. I don't know. Maybe it was 5 million as well.
Did the never-ending YouTube ads for Monday, like, put you off using it or encourage you to use it?
Am I what with the what?
There was a point when Monday was just advertising on YouTube for everything, and, like, did it encourage you to use it, or did it put you off?
I'm not a fan of Monday. I think I'm gonna echo something Brittany said, which I think is gonna be a consistent theme with other tools that we're gonna be looking at here over the next 45 minutes, and that is it's too powerful. It's not too powerful. It's too customizable. You can do anything and everything. And I like having guardrails. It sounds silly. It sounds dumb. But I appreciate the guardrails that Atlassian gives me. It gives I think the tool purpose. And with Monday, since it can do anything, anybody can break it. Anybody can do anything with it. And I feel overwhelmed. I feel like I'm like, what the heck? Like, I'm in the middle of a Clint Eastwood movie or something.
Yeah. And you're not going to use 90% of it, and it just gets in the way.
One thing a client that moved away from Monday said to me is that they were a business owner, and they said Monday by design is encouraging people to spend more time in it. And as a business owner, they don't want people spending more time in it, because that means they're not doing the work they should be doing. The tool should be, like, so simple and intuitive that people just go in there, do what they've got to do, and then carry on with their job. Like, but Monday, you said, like, you spend all day in it, and for them that was an issue. And I think that's sort of the way it feels to me. Like, you have to do a lot of manual manipulation, you have to enter a lot of things. The automation was way behind. I can't compare it to Jira, but compared to Trello, the automation was way behind what Trello could do. So it was one of those things that it felt like you were going to have to engage with it a lot more than you need to, just to get more productive.
Yeah, it's like playing productivity, right? Like playing business. Like, sure, it is fun to cross things off a to-do list, but at the end of the day, I want a tool that's going to help me see, okay, of all of these projects and things I have going on, what do I need to focus on right now? And if I'm having to manually move everything around to organize that, then I guess that's better than not knowing. But, like, I'm so used to with Trello, I can automate things like move it to this list when it's due within a week, or, like, add this label or assign me to it, like, plot this on a calendar view. And, like, when it gets to this stage, add this checklist of these things that need to happen. So I'm not sitting here thinking, okay, well, now what do I need to do? Like, I want my tool to tell me what I need to do so I can go do it, rather than just playing around moving things. Although I do have fun playing around moving things too.
All right. So one last thing on Monday that I'll say, and then we'll move on to the next tool is, and that's something Chris Cook recently brought up, is out of all the tools that we're going to be looking at, very few actually have marketplaces where you can build the business as well. And I think this is one of the things that Atlassian, specifically in Jira, does really, really well, where we have all of our solution partners, right? All of our vendor partners that make apps and make Jira. I don't know what they do in Trello. I've never looked over there, so please feel free to chime in if Trello's got anything like that. But I know in Jira gets infinitely better because you can create for it, right? And Monday, again, out of all the other tools, kind of has something very similar. I don't think it's as big or as popular, but especially when you compare it to like ClickUp and other tools, Monday's right there, right, where you can create like another ecosystem and another opportunity for different companies to be created. So again, Monday's not the worst, but
the one thing I'd say about the Mondays marketplace is that that's one of the things that people see Trello sort of stagnating with power ups. So, and a lot of like the big companies that made power ups, they kind of have end of life them, and then but they see like this is more thriving with Monday. So the bigger companies are going and creating integrations and apps. One of the things I would say, if you're an independent solution creator and you want to build an app for Monday, there's a good chance they might release the functionality you're building as a baked-in feature of the tool anytime soon, because they're constantly just.
Hey, but Atlassian does that all the time too. So
yeah.
But anyway, so that's Monday, and I think maybe if you guys are familiar with the S A B C D E F grade that Rodney likes to grade apps in the marketplace, right? What kind of grade would you give Monday? S being the highest, and I guess F being the lowest.
Wait, what's the highest?
S.
Oh. S is the high. Hang on, this is a different scale than.
It's S is the highest. That's everything I've ever seen. Is in the chat. Somebody help us out. Which is the highest tier? Right, it's S.
What are the letters in between then?
I'm trying to get it. S through F, I think.
Like F G H I J K L M N O P Q R S. Like I have that many options to go through.
No. Hold up. I think I might have added one extra letter, but S is definitely the highest. The grading scales that I've used or seen, S is definitely at the top. We got S, A, B, C, and D. A, B, C, D, and S being the highest.
Okay. This feels like the most American thing I've ever heard of. Can we use just
pick
the
a letter.
metric scale?
Pick a letter.
Can we use the metric scale? Can we just use like 1 to 10?
Sure,
I'm very confused here.
Wouldn't that just be the decimal system?
Us Trello folk are simple folk.
Yeah, I was gonna say why are we making
all right, we'll turn this into a food review out of 10. I mean, what do you rate?
I'm happy to go on the scale because I can see a beginning, a middle, and an end. So I'm happy to stick with that.
Sticking it at 5 out of 10. You know what we should do? So rank it. No, what we should do is rank it from 1 to 10 without knowing what's the next two we're going to review. So you have to put it at a number. So where would you put Monday? We're going to review 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Yeah, perfect. 10 tools. So you're not knowing the next 9. Where would you put Monday on a 1 to 10 scale? 1 obviously being the highest.
So 1 being the highest.
1 being the highest, 10 being the lowest.
Oh.
I'd probably put it 4.
4, okay.
I think I'm going to put it 3. Although Trello can't be 1. I don't know. I'm going to give it 3.
Trello and Jira are off the list because those are all.
Yeah, I'm probably going to give it 3.
Okay.
Because it probably still makes my top 3 non-Trello tools.
Okay, awesome. Well, next up, let's talk about ClickUp.
I used ClickUp when I was like, I need to explore, other productivity tools and see what the difference is. I actually really liked ClickUp, but also felt like it was way overkill for more than 99% of what I need. And so
way overkill.
Yeah, it's like Monday and Asana features, but like times by 20. And it's like really cool. And I think if you were like, you can't ever use Trello or Jira, you have to use something else, I'd probably try to find a way to make ClickUp work for me, because I liked it in that sense. But honestly, yeah, it was just like way overkill. And it felt like you wouldn't even be comparing it to Trello. Like if you were trying to do something and you thought ClickUp was the right answer, don't even look at Trello, because that's like saying I want to get from Louisiana to California.
Mike's just showing off now.
What?
Mike's just got like a mountain behind him, so he's just showing off.
Yeah.
He's just like, look at where I'm at in the world.
I'm trying to make myself visible, but I'm in a place that's got windows on all sides. So like,
right, you're like, for all you people stuck in a cubicle, look at my background.
Yeah, literally not. Yeah, this is not virtual. This is a real background.
Where are you at, by the way, Mike? Sorry, Britt.
I'm in North Colombia, in Santa Marta, it's called, up in the mountains.
Like Colombia, like the country?
Yeah.
Yes.
Like Latin America?
Yes.
Wow.
No, New York. Did you think this was New York? This is.
I should put that passport to use. I wouldn't mind working.
Yeah, I recommend it.
All right, sorry, Brittany, you were saying.
No. I was just saying. I think basically, I think it's overkill for a lot of things, but I think it's kind of cool. I think though it would be like, if someone's trying to compare, like, oh, should I use Trello or ClickUp? Like, you're probably asking the wrong question, because it's like it would be like the equivalent of asking like if I'm trying to get from Louisiana to California, like should I take a boat or a car? And it's like, what? Like, no. I mean, yeah, like wait, those aren't
fly there, right?
Exactly. Like there's actually like, yeah, you're like, there's basically like you're not trying to solve the same sort of problem. Like a boat is, yeah, like are you, yeah, I don't know, that's not maybe not the right analogy, but basically like they're not really two comparable options in my mind. They're like kind of different things.
I recently started using ClickUp more than I would have liked, and I'm looking at a list of requirements, right, of like, hey, do this and this, and I'm like, no, there's just no way. And I'm like, a simple Google search, I'm like, holy crap, this thing can do that. This thing can do that.
Yeah.
I'm like, I have yet to find a use case other than the only thing I have not been able to see ClickUp do that Smart Sheets can do is like you know how when you have your tasks and you can link the dependencies and you have like the start to finish and the finish to finish or whatever. And so as the dates get pushed out, like the children get pushed out. Yeah. That's the only thing I haven't been able to do in ClickUp. But everything else, like everything I've thrown in ClickUp, I'm like, she can handle it real well. Very, very impressed with ClickUp. Yeah. I almost, if Atlassian wasn't one of such a, if I wasn't so in love with Jira, I would definitely.
That's what I'm saying. ClickUp would be if I couldn't use Trello, I still think it's more than what I need for a lot. And I think I don't recommend it to a lot of people because, again, it's kind of like giving someone a jet engine when they like probably
Ferrari
just bicycle. Like, yeah, exactly. And it's like, it's probably like just because it can do all those things usually creates more problems than it's worth if you don't know what you're doing with it. But yeah, I mean, that's probably, I think, what I would use. I don't know.
Mike just went from Mike to like Shadow Mike.
I know. I'm trying.
You're literally facing this light everywhere.
The more I move, the worse it becomes.
Keep going back. You'll eventually walk off the cliff.
Yeah. Oh, there we go. We've got a spot. Okay. The sun's moving, so it doesn't really help. But
you literally like chasing the sun here.
Yeah. So my first Trello consulting gig when I gave up my full-time job was with a client in Australia, and they wanted to build something in Trello, but they said, oh, we don't want to pay much because we're actually moving to ClickUp, and they like ended up trying to sell ClickUp to me and say, oh, it's amazing. And this was back in 2021, I think, January 2021. And at that point, like ClickUp seemed to be like the upcoming thing, and everyone was interested in it, everyone was moving to it, and it promised so much. But when I went to use it, I think I did find the same as you, Britt, that it was so much going on. Like it was really trying to become this Swiss Army knife, and it becomes pretty overwhelming pretty quickly. And you really, really have to think about how you structure it and how you architect it. But it also it was really, really buggy, and I don't know if that's improved over the years. But like it just kept breaking all the time.
I haven't seen any buggy problems with it, but I was just impressed with how powerful it is. Very, very impressed.
Yeah, I was gonna say it's admittedly been probably a solid year or two since I played around with it, and so
I was in it like 2 days ago. So
yeah,
I'm in it a lot right now. But anyway, so let's grade it. Where would you put this in? And let me remind you, Mike, your number 4 option was Monday, and Brittany, your number 3 option was Monday.
Yeah, this is number 1 for me.
Number 1, Mike.
I'm gonna. I don't know what's in the list, but I'm going to put it at 4.
You're already at 4. That was your Monday.
Oh, at 3, sorry.
3, okay. All right, so that takes care of ClickUp. On to the next one. I'm kind of giving you guys teasers of these. Let's do Smart Sheets. What do
I
y'all think about
actually
Smart?
haven't used Smartsheets, so I have very little to say here. I've seen the gist of it, and it feels more like an Airtable competitor or Google Sheet competitor, which I don't know if we're going to talk about either one of those things, but it kind of feels like if Trello and Google Sheets had a baby sort of thing.
So the way I like to describe it to people, it's Microsoft Project in the cloud.
Microsoft Projects isn't in the cloud?
Or OG Microsoft Project.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
But
Yeah,
if Microsoft Project, yeah, if anybody's ever used Microsoft Project, then you'll love Smartsheets because it's basically like a modern version of Microsoft Project. Then.
Right. Yeah, I've never used Smartsheet. I've come across it, but I've never had the joy of working with it. So
well again, if you've ever used Microsoft Project, then you got Smartsheets.
Yeah. If it's like Microsoft Project, yeah, I think I know where I'm going to score this one.
If it has Microsoft in the name, it's not usually going to go too far with me.
They're not using that as a selling point, are they? It's like Microsoft Project. Like that must be the worst like sell that you can have.
Robert thinks of Smartsheets as Excel Plus. Now, if you really think about it, Microsoft Project is Excel Plus. Right? I would say, yeah, I think it's fair. Microsoft Project is definitely a more advanced version of Excel. It looks and feels the same-ish. Just a little bit more powerful. Same ribbon across the top. Bunch of cells everywhere. But yeah, so Smartsheets, I don't have a whole lot to say other than from in my world, right? I would say traditional project managers tend to gravitate and lean towards Smartsheets because even with the other tools that we were talking about with Monday and ClickUp, the target demographic that I feel is just people that want to track tasks, right? It's just you got a task, I got a task, we all got a task. We just need a place to put it. Monday, ClickUp, we're good there. But on Smartsheets, you have a plan. You have a master plan, right? Like you have a schedule. You have like a roadmap that you're trying to get to. You have 1,000 predefined tasks that are and like there's a specific order to those tasks and a specific due date and a specific method to how you want to do that work. And it's a very linear tool in that you execute in sequence, right?
Bob said exactly what I was thinking. I was like, yeah, this is for the like project managers, like who are, not if you don't have project manager in your title, like, I mean, not to say you can't use it, but this feels like you I mean, and of course we're talking about work project management software, but this feels like the capital P, and like I'm not a project manager and I use some of these tools, but like when I think of like Microsoft Planner and stuff like and projects, like that's what I think of. It's like, yeah.
Cool. Well, Mike, any thoughts then on your limited
No,
use?
I mean I did used to be a project manager, and anything that reminds me of Microsoft Project scares me. So that's where I sit.
Okay, my only favorite feature. So a couple favorite features that I like. So one, ClickUp can do this too, right? But if you are like working on a design, you can do markup of your images. So you can like if I add an attachment. I wish Jira. I don't know if Trello can do this, but I wish this was a Jira feature, right? Because it would make it wouldn't eliminate Figma, but it would make the Figma-like experience happen a little bit easier inside of Jira or even Trello, where you have your mockups and you can be annotating and commenting and marking it up. So both Smartsheets and ClickUp do that very, very well. And then the other thing with Smartsheets is obviously that whole push to pull, right? Because how many times do we have good intentions of saying this is going to take us a week to do as a task, ends up taking us 2 months, and now everything else has to be pushed out. Jira doesn't do that at all. So I wish Jira had that function. I wish Jira could push out tasks as their due dates elapse, and then all those connected stories can follow. But I'm assuming, Brittany, how much or Mike, how much of due dates do you guys use in Trello? Like how important is a due date for you guys?
I have started using them more, but they have not historically been a specific concept for me. But I know for a lot of people they are. Like I know a lot of people are trying to figure out, like they're utilizing due dates and like they want this due date when it shifts to shift other things and things like that as well. So I would say it's pretty important to people, and like there are some ways that are handling it that are easier than other ways of handling it.
Yeah,
and some
because
things
in Jira, Yeah, in Jira we have sprints, right? And so our
Mhm.
due date is governed by the end of that sprint. So you don't
Right,
necessarily
right,
have to put due dates.
right.
But we have a lot of traditional project managers that are forced to use Jira because that's what everybody else is using. And now we're like, well, crap, it doesn't work like Smartsheets. It doesn't
Yeah,
work like
it's not the
Microsoft
same as
Project.
yeah.
The due date thing's amazing because almost every single person I consult for opens up their Trello board and there's just overdue due dates everywhere. And so that
Red,
to me
red, red.
suggests that they're not
Yes.
working particularly well. And no one uses Trello notifications, so that's another area. If it's overdue, like you get notified, but that just gets ignored. So I would say due dates are great, have great intentions in Trello, but they're not something that people make great use of.
Well, they're limited use because I'm honestly I don't use Smartsheets a whole lot either. But where would we grade Smartsheets then?
I'll give it a 7.
7?
Yes.
That's
I
high.
was thinking 7. I need to be harsh enough to represent what you said about projects, but like not too harsh because I don't really know too much about it.
Oh, don't worry. We still got 20 minutes to get to like 7 more. So Asana. Where are we at with Asana? What do we think of Asana? I would think
10.
Asana is your biggest competitor, no?
I mean, maybe.
Maybe.
Some people, I mean, yeah, it definitely comes up in the
Yeah,
same
so
conversation. It's become
your
my least
kryptonite.
favorite because I feel like it has the worst parts of Monday and ClickUp, which is like, I don't want to say cluttered. Yeah, cluttered UI. Like it basically has all of the same feature, like not the same, but different. I'm not making sense. It has a messy UI. It doesn't feel very clear of what to do, where to go, where things are, and it also isn't like as powerful in my mind. So it's kind of the worst of both worlds.
I find
There.
it like the poor man's version of Trello.
Oh, I like
Are you
that.
still just really bitter about the whole label thing?
Yeah, right. Maybe that's what it is. Yeah, no, I think it's. I mean, I have so many reasons since then, and like but yeah, maybe that is actually what it is. It's just, they were going to charge me for labels and,
Screw
now
that.
I'm a Trello user, we Trello users, we love the free stuff. Like you start to charge us for something we can't
Yeah,
handle
says the person
ourselves.
that you need to pay extra to be able to use the calendar feature in Trello.
You don't have to.
I thought you have to now.
Yeah, it's a power up.
Don't you pay for power ups? What
No.
do I know? I don't use Trello at all. I should not be talking about Trello. I spend this much time in Trello.
This much time in Trello.
So my
All right. So,
my experience with Asana was like from years and years ago. I'm talking like what 2016
Yeah, I
maybe.
admittedly, I should also caveat that I haven't used it in a while, but yeah.
And at the time, it felt like Asana was like a project management tool, but felt like it needed to somehow be catering for the agile world. And it got kind of a bit muddled in what it was trying to do. And that seems to have played forward. And it's one of those things that's kind of grown and never been able to claw back the essence of what it was. And now it's kind of like a mishmash of bleh, and doesn't appeal to me for that reason.
Yeah, that's probably a good way to think about it. It's like it is a mishmash of like trying to be too much. And it's funny because every time I see people asking for, oh, I wish Trello could do this. I wish Trello could do this. I wish Trello could do this. And it's like, yeah, you're not going to use 90% of that. And it's just going to like end up making it like really annoying for the people who are having to now, operate within that. And yeah, it kind of feels like Asana did sort of go down that path. But yeah.
and that's why
I'm good to rate this one. I can give this one a solid 10 or a
solid
G
10,
or whatever
wow,
the heck a Z, whatever our scale is.
No, the S was the high one. What about you, Mike? Where are we at with Trello or with Asana?
I'm not going to. I wasn't scorned by the label, so I'm not going to get rated so harshly. Maybe 8.
8, okay. Asana, man. I will tell you, I'm very mad at Asana right now. I've been trying to do an import to make a video. So Jira has native import capabilities where you can pick these tools, which is spoilers where I got my list from. And you have these tools and you can import them in. And like for the life of me, I can't get Asana to work. Like it just says an error occurred. And I'm like, anything helpful here? Like
nope, just it exists. Using Asana, that is the error that occurred.
There it is. I messed up just from the get-go. All right, next one, sticking the A train, Airtable.
I like Airtable. I think depending on what I wanted to do, if I if Trello disappeared. I'd be torn on, like I said, ClickUp or Airtable. I think those would be, kind of right up there for me. And I would probably end up using both for different things potentially, depending on what I was doing. But I really like Airtable. I feel like it kind of like, again, I haven't used Smartsheets, so I can't really compare how it is to Smartsheets, but that genre of tools I feel like is like if Trello and Google Sheets or Excel like kind of combined, and it gave you the database sort of structure of what you need, like a table of things, but also made each cell a little bit more powerful to do what you need to.
So I like to describe Airtable as Microsoft Access in the cloud.
Yeah.
Can you
Okay.
stop referring to
I was gonna
Microsoft?
say, you need to. Okay, I haven't thought about Microsoft Access since my computer applications class in college, and it's like, okay, this is like way more than a spreadsheet, but also like basically a spreadsheet, like in the cloud. Okay, so yeah, Alex is like, Jira is actually Microsoft Excel in the cloud.
In the cloud. Can you imagine?
Trello is
actually
Microsoft PowerPoint,
Planner.
but in the cloud.
Yeah. So Airtable is probably I spent a lot of time in Airtable when I started getting scared that Trello might disappear soon.
Uh-oh.
And the first thing I did was try to replicate Trello in Airtable.
No. But Mike, I think your saving grace is like, okay, so you're using Airtable because I love it too. I think it's a great tool until you see the price.
Yeah.
And now you're like,
good things in life ain't free. I mean, if the tool is useful for me and saves me time, like obviously I can't pay billions of dollars for it, but like if it does the job that I need it to, there is a monetary piece you can put to it. Like,
yeah, but for one individual, cool. Scale it at 5,000 employees. That's a lot of money.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I generally I could build things for me in Airtable and be really happy, but it would be hard for me to sort of promote that to any of my customers as an alternative to Trello because they are like sort of in the world of needing to scale up, and then the cost becomes quite. People complain about the cost of Trello when they use it. So imagine what the shock they get from Airtable.
I feel like you have to be very like Excel. I feel like you have to be very creative with Airtable because like anything goes.
Yeah.
And you can structure your data any which way you want. And this is where I shy away from all the tools we've been talking about because they're overwhelming. You can do so much in so many different ways. Yeah, there's no right or wrong way of doing it all, and I think that's what scares me. Because in Jira, I can sit there and I can perch myself on top of a porcelain tower, right, and say, no, this is the wrong way to do Jira. This is the right way to do Jira, and that's also probably why I don't like Trello as much, right? Because you don't have that authority in Trello, right? Because you could use Trello for anything, but with Jira, no, like Jira, there's a way.
And I think that's probably why I naturally gravitate towards Airtable, because the thing I love about Trello is its freedom and flexibility. It doesn't tell you how to do things. You decide that, and Airtable feels very much the same.
Yeah, but deer in headlights is very much a thing, right? Like you can just be staring at a blank table and go, where do I start?
Yeah, I'm going to use the Trello analogy. Like when I'd say to customers, its biggest strength is its biggest weakness, and the two things are so closely linked. And Airtable, you can get stuck in the same thing, but I think Airtable is more complex than Trello. So if you go down the wrong route, you'll end up causing a lot more chaos, and it would be more difficult to undo it than in Trello.
Yeah, selfishly, my utilization of Airtable has been to display Jira data in a nicer way because I do love their metrics.
It always comes back to Jira.
Well, if Atlassian could do something better in their lives, it would be like, let's upgrade our reports and dashboards in Jira because they suck. Right?
Don't go to Trello. Don't go to Trello looking for reports.
Well,
I mean, if you get a power, you're okay. But don't, man, you're definitely not going to be thrilled we're not even going to try to pick a fight about a Trello versus Jira reporting natively.
Yeah, because that's the only reason I love Airtable for that reason. And I was like, dang, man, I wish Jira could do this. Like from a metrics and reporting, like conditional logic and stuff. I'm like, chef's kiss. Like it just does it so flawlessly. And then I'm back in Jira. And I'm like, great. Atlassian's over here changing the damn UI. They could have invested some money on getting me better dashboards.
So you are actually syncing data from Jira to Airtable so you can use their interfaces.
Yeah.
That's fair. I thought about trying to sync to Airtable from Trello. For similar reasons, because a lot of people will ask me about like portals and stuff like that, and that's not really easily done in Trello. So I did think about that, but the complication of trying to sync Trello's not really a database. It doesn't really sync in as nice a way. You could use something like Unito, but it's really expensive. And so I was looking at ways of trying to combine the two, and gave up after a while.
Hey, man, don't be bashing our sponsors, right, Brittany? You're wearing a Unito sweater, right?
I actually am, yes.
Yeah.
Hey, living the brand.
And they're one of my current sponsors. So
I mean, hey, they're great. They're pricey, but
Yeah.
they do what's on the tin. And I do recommend, like, when people are like, this is the solution I need something to sync my tools together, and I don't want to build anything.
Yeah, it's easy. It's a couple clicks and you're done. Yep.
They're definitely not targeting me like an individual. Like they're
who loves to tinker and build and make things more complicated than we need to, and then figure out why it didn't work. And
the UI is pretty beautiful. But yeah, they're looking for bigger businesses who can pay for the licenses, not me.
Companies. So to be clear, this is episode sponsored by Revise, and companies pay not to be mentioned. All right. So Airtable, since we're down to like the last 10 minutes, where do we rate Airtable?
I'm going to give mine number 1.
Ooh, you're actually excited. I think you're more excited about Airtable than you are about Trello.
It would be my go-to if Trello does disappear for sure.
And then Brittany, as you go on mute.
There it is. Yes. I think I'm going to give it a 2, right? I gave ClickUp my 1.
ClickUp number 1, and then Monday's number 3. So we
Let's
got
do
Airtable.
it. Yeah, number 2.
Okay, so I think we're at the end of the known ones. So the next one, I'm going to go to the next 2 that I think might be popular enough for you to speak about them, but the next 10 minutes might be the most bland 10 minutes here. So stick with us, folks. Azure DevOps Online, ADO.
I have definitely not used it and have nothing good or bad to say about it.
Mike, anything?
No, not used it.
Well, I'll give you my spiel. I'll give you my spiel because I've actually.
Did you research these, by the way?
Yeah. So ADO, Microsoft. So obviously, if this conversation has been any indicator, you guys absolutely don't like Microsoft that much. So ADO is very much a Microsoft product, and it is
a Microsoft of Microsoft in the cloud.
No, it's a cloud version of Team Foundation Server, which is a very legitimate statement.
There you go. Okay, love it.
And basically, yeah. So it's if you've ever used Team Foundation Server, it's a cloud version of Team Foundation Server, which I actually loved TFS back in the day. I was so in love because I was a developer, and the beautiful part about TFS back then, and again, ADO precursor, is that as you're writing your code in your Visual Studio, in the UI, you have TFS in there. So you're seeing like your commits and your branches and your you have the mini version of Jira, like a Jira board in your Visual Studio. And so I thought that was like so interesting. I'm like, why would I have to leave? And in fact, when I went to Jira, like the biggest culture shock for me when I transitioned from TFS to Jira was like, why do I have to go to different URLs? Why do I have to go to a browser to track my tasks, right? Because it was all in the tool where I was already doing my work. And that was just like the culture thing. But ADO, of course, has evolved a little bit. Yeah, ADO has evolved a little bit about that, right? But I would say the teams that are using ADO are Microsoft shops, right? Like you're on the .NET stack, right? Your company is building Microsoft technologies, and that's usually the people using ADO. The other thing I'll say positive about ADO is that I think it does Agile more right than Jira. I think from an Agile perspective, it does its boards a little bit better. You can actually do capacity planning in there better, like the way Agile intends it. And your hierarchy is the way Agile intends it as well. So some positives, but based on this comment here, it's going to get streamrolled by GitHub. So, but we'll talk about GitHub in a second. So given what I just told you, where would you rate ADO?
I have a very, very small amount of experience in the past with Team Foundation Server, and based on that and the fact that the UI looks a bit Microsoft Plannery, I'm going to stick it fairly low down.
Your 9 and 10 are available right now.
I think 9.
9, okay. Britt, your 8 and 9 are available.
Let's take 8.
All right. Up next, on a very similar note, ADO was as a byproduct of TFS evolving into the cloud. As you know, a few years ago, Atlassian acquired a company called GitHub. And GitHub has now been building their version like a project management into the tool itself. So have you guys used that at all? Because I know I haven't.
I've like very so I used GitHub for managing tasks when I was in marketing, and that was terrible. I hated it. I think it's come a long way since then. And as a developer, we use ZenHub to kind of like, which is kind of like a similar but different tool, but basically links into your GitHub and like help, like it's a layover your GitHub. And I think it's probably what GitHub Projects is trying to be. So I'm more keen on it now than I was, but if you're not a developer, then there is no reason to be using issues and pull requests, and it just makes your life way more complicated.
Yeah, it's definitely for developers. It makes sense to me because very similar to what I just mentioned about TFS being natively.
Yeah,
in
like
your
where you're
dashboard.
doing your work. Exactly.
Yeah, your GitHub, you're in there. You got to do your PRs anyways, right?
Right.
You got to do your branches. You got to do your commits in there. So like it makes sense. But talk about a tool that is like narrowly focused to one demographic of your company.
Exactly. We tried to use it as marketers, and like it was just so annoying. Like it's not meant for like issue task. Like it's meant to be tied to like, here is an issue and here is the thing I'm doing to fix that issue based on the code that I have changed. And if you don't have that second part, it's just kind of useless in that sense. So yeah, I rate it pretty high for like developers, but like if you're not a developer, like I don't know, it may end up being my 9 if we're not talking to developers. But
yeah. But it's almost like the opposite trend that that Atlassian is doing right now, because Atlassian is really trying to appeal to the Mondays
everyone.
and the ClickUps, right?
Yeah, it is it's trying to be like, yeah.
So, do you guys have an opinion on that? What do you guys think about that? Because I'm kind of torn.
I spent a lot of time at team in Barcelona talking to the Jira for Marketers team, and I did like a lot of what I saw. I'm still not sure. Most of my inquiries that have Jira mentioned them are teams wanting to use Trello, where their company's trying to force them to use Jira, and they still find Jira too complicated, even if it's been dumbed down. Like it's still unfortunately the case that it's far too complex.
You think people just have a bad taste in it, like you guys have a bad taste for Microsoft stuff?
I think that could be the case. I think, but I mean, it's the reputation, for better or for worse, that it has of being a complicated tool. Like even if it were less complicated, like if you associate it as being complicated, it will probably always be complicated.
No matter how much you try to put a pretty dress on it.
There's one thing I would say is that for areas outside of like software teams, Jira is almost certainly going to be set up by the same people who set up the software team. So it's probably not the tool, it's how it's configured for those marketers that is wrong within companies, because it's being set up by the people who don't understand what's happening in the marketing team and don't take the time to learn the difference. So I don't think it's Jira's fault. I actually think it's how it's being structured and set up.
That's an interesting perspective, yeah. And I 100% agree with you, because I've been working with a team here who's a non-developer and by any way, shape, or form, but they're more like supply chain type of folk, right? And the workflows that I've had to set up for them and the custom fields of the data they're trying to collect, every time they ask me for one, I just cringe, because I'm like, this feels so wrong, so wrong, but it's so right for them.
Yeah,
right? It's so right for them, but it just feels so wrong for me as a Jira native.
Yeah.
Right. And I think a lot of admins probably push back a lot and go, no, this is not the way. But Atlassian's trying to say, yes, this is the way. And in the last 6 minutes here, I think we can kind of maybe give up on grading our tools, because I don't know if you guys use Soho, Notion, or Rike, but they're probably all 10s for me.
Yeah. Yeah. Go ahead, Mike.
No,
Zoho I've used for various different things, and it's just one of those things that tries to offer absolutely everything from accounting to CRM to project management to it's just, but it's one of those things that is like too generic and too broad reaching to really be serious. You just start things and you'll find limitations pretty quickly.
So in the last 5 minutes, because I probably won't get a chance to see you guys, what are you guys most excited about Teams 24 here? I'm sorry, Teams 25.
TrelloCon.
TrelloCon.
Yeah, we're finally, although as we were discussing before the call, it's related but not related to team. We're touting a line there, but it is happening that same week. It is going to be before Bash, and it's going to be a couple hours of nerding out about Trello. So if someone, do you have I think Bob let me send Bob a link because I don't think we can
If you
post
can
links.
put it in the private chat, I can put it in the public chat.
Okay, yeah. Let me get a link to that. But yeah, we're super excited. We're gonna be nerding out about our favorite tool. We are allowed to talk about Trello there, so we will be doing that.
For the record, I didn't make the rules for this episode. I just followed them.
No. I
understand.
I think it was kind of refreshing actually. But yeah, we will be talking about our favorite tool there, and we've got some folks from the Trello team who are going to be there and sharing some interesting news about things coming in Trello and how that exciting things to come there. Trying to figure out how to be vague without being vague.
If I'm not mistaken, I saw Trello's going to have a session. No.
Yes. Mike and I will be talking at it. Yeah, we are. Yeah. One of the few community leaders that present company here. We probably have 50% of the community leaders who've been selected for a team talk here on this call right now.
Out of most of the 4 of you.
Yeah, I mean, it's the 3 of us and Matt. So 75% maybe. But yeah, so. How many hours does it last?
Your Trello shirts, by the way, if you guys are going to have any this year, I need like 10 of them because my wife just fell in love with them.
They're so good. They're the best shirts.
I did not get enough for her. I think I got like 2. She's like, it's her favorite shirt. Save me like 10
small. On the inside a little bit.
Yeah, save me like 10 smalls and then I'll go pick them up.
Okay, we'll see what we can do. But yeah, definitely excited for that. I've gone ahead and I'm taking the entire week off. Every year I'm like, I just need to take this day off. And it's like, I need to fly in this year. Like this year I've sorted it out. I'm coming on Sunday and I'm not leaving till Saturday. And I'm just, I'm not going to try my whole get in Monday night and leave Friday morning. It doesn't work. It doesn't work for me. So I'm excited.
We start the party on Friday. We're going to be at Disneyland on Friday.
Oh my gosh.
And we're going to keep the party rolling through Saturday.
Jeez. Wow. Yeah. I need to get out there and get my little like introvert time organized, settled in, and then be ready to face the world on Monday or Tuesday. I don't even know what day things will start.
Monday's when we're going to Disneyland as the community leaders.
Oh, I didn't know that. That's fun.
You didn't know?
I don't think so. But I honestly have not.
Our community leader session start on Monday now instead of Tuesday.
Yeah, I knew that. I didn't know it was at Disneyland.
Well, the day is at night we're going to Disneyland.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah, but I'm taking my family.
That's exciting. Yeah,
I have reservations for Monday night, so we'll be my family will be across. Well, they'll be at the parks during the day, and then I'll probably just meet up with them.
Nice, that's fun. I love that.
Yeah, the afternoon. And then I'm debating of going back on Friday with Sean again. I might do it real quickly in the morning.
Just pop into Disney, California things.
It's what you do. And then, Mike, you gonna try to head out to the beach over here? You look like a beach guy.
Yeah. You haven't tempted me by saying the water's cold though. I'm more of a like 28, 30 degrees.
We have mountains too, and if you're lucky, there'll be some snow still left on them. If you're a mountain type of guy, the mountains are about I would say an hour and a half, maybe 2 hour drive down from.
Yeah, I'm more of a mountain guy as long as it's sort of still, reasonable temperature outside. I'm definitely a hot weather person for sure.
So LA's not flat at all, right? So you can go within a 10-mile radius. I'm sure you can find a mountain too. Just not as big as the one.
I've been looking at lots of the parks nearby, and it looks like there's loads of stuff that can be done. So.
Yeah, if you go 10 miles east straight from Disneyland, just go straight 10 miles, you'll hit a mountain.
Yeah, okay, that sounds good.
Yeah, lots of cliffs.
I do like mountains. I like national parks and that sort of thing.
Yeah, Anaheim itself is flat. It's a concrete jungle, but within a 10-mile radius, you start hitting some elevations real fast. Just don't go too far into LA because the mudslides and all the fires, it's still very ugly. Not very safe. But other than that, I'm hoping you guys, I'm hoping to run into you. Brittany, bring a pen, or I'll bring a pen.
Yes.
Everybody else, make sure you pick up Supercharging Productivity with Trello.
Yes, please do. Yeah,
Pick it up. Bring
I will
with
sign
you.
it. Yeah, write a special note in there. I love it.
And then I don't know if this person's going to be there, but I picked up theirs too. Confluence one. Is it Aaron?
Oh yeah, I yes. I don't know if they're going to be there or not. Honestly.
I think he was there last year, but I wish I would have had it last year.
Yeah,
and then of course you got to get King Bob has his book, so got to get King Bob's book, and then the one.
Then your book. I was going to say you got the collection.
The most important one, of course, is this one.
Right.
Pick this one up. We're actually going to be doing a book signing, and we have a couple of sponsors that are buying some books and are going to be signing them and giving them up. I know AppBox is going to have some. Sorry, AppBuyer is going to have some.
Nice.
Sorry, I'm thinking AppBox because I have AppBox right here. AppBuyer is going to have. I think we're going to do a little book signing with Ed Gale, and then ClearPath. They're going to be. I'm going to be at their booth. We're sort of trying to figure out logistics, but I'm going to be at their booth for like 30 minutes doing signatures as well. And so we will have books, lots of books to sign and give away. Yeah, and I'm going to give away a couple books. I have my session, so I'm going to give away a couple of my books to attendees at my session. So I'll incentivize them to not go to TrelloCon so that they can stick around my session, because my session is at 3:15 p.m. on Thursday.
Well, we've set TrelloCon wide enough that they could go after.
Sorry?
They could go after.
Yeah,
they
could.
Come
Yeah.
on after.
Yep. So, anyways, we are at time. So, thank you very much, both of you, for joining me. I will see you in like 45 days.
Yeah. Cheers.
I'm excited. I hope you guys safe travels. I'm gonna walk down the street and I'll be there. So,
living the dream.
Yeah. Are you parking the camper? Or are you driving?
I'm fine. Yeah, I did not. Yeah, Mike and I were actually talking about this last week. I very, very, very briefly contemplated it, but when I take the camper out to California, it's not going to be for a week. It's going to be for like 3 to 6 months, and I'm going to do all sorts of stuff out west. But yeah, that's too far for me to drive for a.
My driveway's always available for you and your camper.
Good to know. I appreciate it. We'll see if I could back it into it or figure out how that would work. That'd be kind of fun.
My parents is big enough, and mine, I think you can maybe fit it on the side of the building. The
your HOA will let you do that?
I don't have an HOA.
Like no one will really. Wow.
My parents. Well, because I have like on the side of my wall, the previous owner used to have a boat. So, and some neighbors do have like campers backed up into there.
Yeah.
I have like a long hallway on the side of my house where people back up their campers into it.
Nice. Okay. Well, good to know. Good to know.
My parents don't have an HOA, and I don't have an HOA, and my parents definitely have like a 100-foot driveway.
Nice.
So they can fit it there. So
let
me know. We'll be here. All right. For everybody else, I don't like to do my outro because it doesn't feel right. But how about one of you two do it?
I didn't choose the Jira Life. It didn't choose me. How does it go?
But we were going to do a Trello.
We didn't choose the Jira Life. The Jira Life chose us.
What was that?
That was Bob doing his producer things without telling me what he's doing.
I was like, who is this? What is happening?
A really smart guy, I will tell you.
I believe it.
Smart guy.
I was just shooketh.
Yeah. All right. Well, thank you both. I'll let you, Mike, don't fall off the mountain.
Yeah, I'll try not to. I'm getting bitten by mosquitoes.
I thought you were going to back it up like 10 more feet and you were going
to. Yeah.
That'll be a cliffhanger.
Bob, our audience did not like you randomly playing the clip. Bye, everybody.
Bye.
Thank you for listening to the Jira Life. Our hosts are Alex, Dr. Jira Ortiz, and Rodney, the Jira Guy, Nissen. You can find Alex on YouTube at 8Tech Tutorials, and Rodney's blog is found over at thejiraguy.com. Our producers are Robert King Bob Wen and Lina Ortiz. You can catch us live as we record this podcast every Thursday at 2 p.m. Pacific, 5 p.m. Eastern on YouTube at The Jira Life. Be sure to join us and our other Jira amigos of the Peanut Gallery every week to ask your questions, let us know your comments, and just tell us what you're up to. But if you can't join us live, you can still catch the replay over on YouTube. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, and hit that bell while you're watching. We're also available as a podcast over on Apple iTunes, Spotify, or wherever you get your podcasts. If you listen to it and think it deserves a rating, we would very much appreciate it, as it will help others discover the Jira Life. Because we didn't choose the Jira Life. The Jira Life chose us.